Hey guys, welcome to episode 21 of the Go-to-Game show. This is where Jack and I get to catch up every week now that we can't see each other in person at the office and hang out and talk shit every week. This is our opportunity to do so. We usually catch up, talk about some gaming news, find out what each other have been up to in the last week, and we're always joined by one of our friends. And this week it's a friend that we've known you for a long time, aren't we, Lucky?
Yeah, honestly, I think about it now and I'm just like, I remember the first time these guys hit me up for like a little promo thing, and I was like, that was quite a few years ago now. So that's exciting.
So,
finally having me on the show.
Introducing our mate, Lucky Bones.
God damn it, everybody says that.
Yeah, well, maybe you should just stop dragging your feet and just get everybody on. What was somebody did a thing where they did like 150 like influencers in a one hangout call or something? Like,
that would be amazing.
That would be horrible.
I know. Well, we did do a version of the show about a month ago where we had, I think it was about 6 influencers that were all working on CPA.
Oh, cool.
Cerebral Palsy Alliance thing. And that was chaotic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it actually wasn't bad. Imagine. It was better than I thought, but it was still wild. Yeah. It was mad.
There wasn't as much talking over each other as I thought there was going to be.
No. Oi, quick one, but.
Oi.
Ears in your hat or ears out of your hat?
I'm ears out.
I tuck mine in. I tuck mine in because...
I try and tuck, but this hat is in between.
You just gotta learn how to tuck better. That's all right.
I know.
I can send you some videos.
Yeah, send me some videos on how to tuck.
Big legs, so mine hurt.
Tucking ears, or what are we tucking?
Later.
Okay, ears.
Right. So, before we jump into it, you are known by a few different names, Lucky. I cannot keep up.
Yeah, honestly. So when I started, like, pretty much my social media presence, it was about, I want to say about 10 years ago. I think I was 18 when I made my Facebook page, and it was under the alias Black Cat.
Yeah.
The reason why I chose the name is because I entered the cosplay scene, and one of the first costumes I ever made was Felicia Hardy from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And obviously her alias is Black Cat. And I was like, I'm heaps cool. I'm a new cosplayer. I'm going to be super original, making a Facebook page. It won't be that big. I'll be Black Cat. 422,000 fans later, I was like, I should maybe rebrand. Because people like, this page has nothing to do with cats. And I'm like, I also don't really cosplay that much anymore. And they're like, this is misleading. And I'm like, okay, probably should rebrand. So I took on the new alias of Lucky Bones, but some people just know me as Gabby. So yeah.
You should have just started posting the same picture of a single black cat every day.
I
like those
thought
weird
about
Instagram pages.
This is like, it's just like, here is a picture of this on the hour every hour. And I'm just like, okay, I'm really into it.
There's
you still go back and like them all.
Yeah.
There's one Twitter account that I follow that's exactly like that. It's the Quackers Every Hour.
Quackers Every hour.
Yes.
I have goats every hour. That's my favorite.
Quackers Every Hour is my favorite. And just every now and then, if I'm feeling down, I'll go onto Twitter and I'll retweet a couple of those, and it makes my day.
They're so cheeky and they're just so cute, and people like people who look at that, they're like, "A quacker's real." I'm like, "Yeah, man, quackers are real." And they're like, "No, come on, don't bullshit me. They don't exist."
Why I want to visit Perth.
Yeah, 100%.
True.
Me too.
Very true.
Me too. But that's like the only reason.
Yeah. All right. So before we get too deep into talking about you and what you do, what have we all been up to this week, Jack?
Oh yeah, Jack, what have you been doing, bro? What have you been doing?
It's been heaps hot in my shed. That's about it. It's been wild.
I cannot fathom that, honestly.
Yeah,
like the fact that you have your whole setup. Your whole setup's in your shed. And like for people who don't live in Australia, I don't know if they can comprehend just how
ridiculous
whack that sounds. Yeah.
I would almost compare it to any other country sitting in a car for 3 hours straight in the sun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, pretty much. But it doesn't move, so you can't get that much airflow. It's not too bad, but yeah, it's just like a tin shed, so like there's no leeway of it's just
do you know what you almost need to do on your stream, bro?
Heat. Yeah.
You almost need to get like a digital thermometer and have it like a thing in the corner of your stream just saying how hot it is in your shed at the moment.
Oh, that would be cool, actually.
That would be good.
I could do it, but I'll lay it in the sun. So it's like gets heaps worse. It's actually not that hot. I'm just rigging it, stick it out the window.
It could be the Australia meter.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Because then in winter
Gross.
it got to like 0 in here when I was streaming.
What?
Because obviously it's the complete opposite. There's no insulation or anything. So I'm going to try and insulate the roof though, because that's the main thing. I think once that's insulated, then it's going to reflect a lot of the heat, and then it'll be good.
Yeah.
But
it's funny you say that.
Today it's 35 outside, so it's probably hotter in here. Last week it was 39 outside. On Friday, it would have been hot. It was hot in here. Yeah.
That was the day that we decided it's time to clean the pool.
Yeah, fair enough.
God. Why do humans just decide, like, on the hottest days? Like, I have this tendency where I will wait for the hottest point in the day to go for a run. Because my stupid body is just like, hey, you've done nothing all day, you should go for a run. And I go outside and I'm like, isn't it the hottest part of the day? And my body's like, Lamau, you're a loser. And I'm just like, why do we do that? Why do we do that? I don't know.
That's the same with the kids when we want to go to the beach. It's like we'll get up at 7 and go to the beach. By the time we get them sorted and get there, it's 11:30. I'm like, everyone's getting burnt. Yeah, everyone's getting cooked.
That's it.
Yeah, that's about it. Just being heaps hot. Bit of GTA roleplay. I actually took 2 days off this week, Saturday and Sunday. Had a little birthday party for me and my Foxy boy, my little son. So yeah, our birthdays aren't the same, but it's sort of like his is really close to Christmas and mine's kind of like start of November. So it's like we'll do a party in the middle, get everyone together, and then
you're at that stage of being a dad where your birthday's not important anymore.
Nah. But if I combine it with my 2-year-old son, then it's actually a little bit important.
Yeah.
Everyone comes and like, happy birthday to you, but here's Fox's presents. I got heaps of presents, though. I got heaps of like special new lights and everything. It was cool.
It's exciting.
It was very cool.
See, I'm at that age now where my kids are in their teens, so they're, especially like my eldest one's like 18, he's moved out of home, and my youngest is now 14, and they're at that age where they don't really care about presents and stuff anymore. So I'm starting to get spoiled again.
All the attention's back on you.
That's mad.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Lit.
But yeah. Apart from that, not much. Bit of GTA roleplay, a little bit of Destiny 2. Kind of got back into that a little bit again, but you know, that's kind of me. Not too much. Yep.
Well, for me, apart from work stuff, which has been chaotic this week,
I wasn't gonna mention work stuff, but there's been a lot more that I've done.
But gaming wise, like I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I got the driving rig you can see in the corner if you're watching the video.
Yep. You got a wheel on that now and pedals?
Okay, so this is what I was just about to say. I went through my cupboard of crap that I've got here, and I remembered that I've actually had an old Thrustmaster wheel.
No way.
But it's an old one.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Right. So it's one for the PS3 and PC. However, it's no longer supported by Windows 10. So I literally spent the weekend. Well, it was my son's birthday party on the weekend as well. So we had 10 fucking boys around, which was teenage boys. Yuck.
Gross.
Yeah. But in between looking after them, I was trying to download fucking drivers and find workarounds. And I got in touch with a couple of mates who are in the driving car race sim scene.
Yeah.
And they helped me out. And I think I've finally found a driver that'll work. Because I just do not want to commit $500 plus to driving sim gear if I hop in there and decide, I don't like this.
Yeah, true.
All right, so I'll get this cheap old wheel going and have a play around.
Or do it, and then give me the sim bit with the chair.
Yeah, you still got a steering wheel, eh?
Yeah, I just got to put it on my desk. It's a pain in the ass. I've been looking for one of those for so long, but like one that's like free or cheap.
Yeah,
because they're like another expensive part, that back bit.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I actually said on the show last week. I found that on the side of the road.
Yeah, I know. I remember you were saying, yeah,
they're
like $1,000.
It's a $850 driving sim setup.
What?
Yeah,
and it's the limited edition Red Bull racing version of it.
Yeah, it's fucking sick.
Who puts that out?
Mate.
Who? Why?
I could start a whole other podcast, myself and my wife, just talking about shit that we're finding on the side of the road lately.
Why don't you?
It's a problem, though. It's becoming a problem. Like, at the moment, there's a whole bunch of the councils are doing their cleanups. Yeah. My wife and I are on Facebook groups, and we're like, babe, there's a big There's a big pickup going on at the moment in Lidcombe. Oh, that's
I
a
know.
half-hour drive from here. Right, it's worth it.
Oh my god, no! That's just no. It's too much. It's too many things. I bet you already have too many things at home to begin with. That's why you have a cupboard of crap.
Jack, check out bring it up in the corner there, my Twitter.
Yeah.
And have a look at the couch that we're doing up at the moment.
I saw that.
I've
It's
seen it,
beautiful.
No, you should see it now. I'm going to post up a photo probably in the weekend once it's all finished.
Yeah.
But we've gone full goth with it. We've sanded it back, and we've dyed all of the material like a full-on glossy black.
Oh my gosh.
And we've painted all the woodwork black, and it fully looks like this full-on goth jewel.
Because the frame of it was like really lovely, but it obviously looked like it needed some help.
Oh, it needed some love, but the fucking horrible thing is when we were sanding it back. See, look, I'm already starting to convert this into our roadside pickup show. When we sanded it back, we found out that somebody had already sprayed, because we looked at it was being painted, right?
Yeah.
Underneath was gold leaf.
What?
So they had painted over gold leaf to do it up.
That's crazy.
People, man. People.
I know, right? Yeah, that's what we've been up to this week.
Oh, that's brilliant.
On the gaming side of things and fixing up shit we found on the side of the road, which is really therapeutic, actually. I'm really loving it.
That's awesome.
What about you, Gabby? What have you been up to this week?
I'm a remarkably uninteresting person. I spend a lot of my day, I've been getting I do a lot of walking and running these days because a year of being quite sedentary has taken its toll. I'm not as spry as I used to be. I'm 28 and my joints hurt when I sit for too long now, and I think my body's recoiling in horror a little bit. And so it's
I've got 10 years on you, so you imagine what sitting still does to me.
Yeah. And so I've been doing exercises, but I've also I very recently, actually this morning, which is the 26th, I asked my Twitter if they could recommend me anime. So I've actually basically set up a whole list of animes that I want to watch.
Have you been an anime viewer?
Yeah, so
is it a new thing, or are you just looking for new things?
New stuff mostly. I watch a lot of the mainstream things that people consider popular for a time. So things like Dragon Ball Z I was big into when I was a kid. Neon Genesis, Bubblegum Crisis, things like that. But recently, I've fallen out of being in love with anime just because I felt like there was so much now. There were so many ways to access anime, things like Crunchyroll and Anime Lab and stuff like that. I just felt overwhelmed, and so I didn't know how to weed out the good stuff from the stuff that was almost just filler anime to me. So I've started watching some new anime, and I've just been doing some streaming as well. I helped a mate do his Movember charity stream in VR the other night, so that was pretty cool.
Awesome.
That's mad.
Yeah. He did a Phasmophobia run in VR for the first time, and he basically needed somebody to babysit and do things while he got scared. So that was really, really good, really fun.
Phasmophobia in VR is amazing.
I haven't tried it in VR.
So
I think I'd throw up. I get motion sickness pretty gnarly, but the whole ghost aspect I could cope with. It's the walking around and moving and shit. It would just end me.
Because the thing is when you stand still, you use the thumbsticks to walk, so you're pushing forward and your head's moving, and it's real fucked. You get used to it pretty quick. Well, I did. I got used to it reasonably quick. The first day, I had a headache for 24 hours. After using it, and I only did some Beat Saber, but it's just the whole wobbly thing.
I love
crazy.
Beat Saber is just the epitome of cool nerd shit, in my opinion. It's just hey, take these light swords and slice them to dance music. So cool.
The funny thing is,
Guitar Hero on drugs.
Yeah.
Well, I sort of look at Beat Saber do you remember when smartphones were first a thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's you've got your first smartphone, and one of the first apps almost everybody downloaded was Fruit Ninja.
Oh yeah.
True, very true.
It was the go-to killer game that everybody played. That and Angry Birds, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And that's sort of what I see Beat Saber as. If you buy a VR headset, the first game you're going to buy and download will be Beat Saber.
Yeah. True.
I always thought
it's so easy to pick up too. It's super simple. You play it on easy, anybody would be able to play it and get hooked.
Yeah. And being a Star Wars nerd, that was awesome when I first saw it. I was just I've got fucking 2 lightsabers.
Yes. That's awesome. I'm into it.
That's sick. That's really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
can't fathom VR though. I don't know. Is VR so my understanding of VR, I remember when I like first started hearing about it, I was a little bit younger. But like it was weird because VR just suddenly became accessible in my opinion. Like
Yeah,
it went
totally.
from
In the
being this
last 5
thing,
years.
yeah, like that some people, only a few handful of people had,
Yeah.
and it was really janky, to like, you know, what seemed like it just suddenly being
I would actually argue
a
it
thing.
became more accessible in the last 3 years because it would have been like 5 years ago where Oculus, the first people I knew were buying Oculus,
Yeah.
and they were paying like thousands for them.
Mm.
Like, the first person I knew that actually had one was Ross McDougall.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was back when I was living in New Zealand. And when he bought it, it was just like, holy shit, this is cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody I know's actually got one. It's not just at a convention.
Yeah,
Um,
that's it.
yeah, and then I would say, yeah, after all the PC companies started bringing them out, and like I've still got a Lenovo one myself,
Yeah.
and then Facebook, once they bought Oculus and brought the price down of Oculus, and then PlayStation VR, which I would argue PlayStation VR is probably the most accessible one because you don't need a big PC setup. As long as you've got a PS4, it'll work, right?
Yeah. That's good. I like
Yeah.
it. I'm into it.
Right, but let's talk more about you, Gabby.
But
Yeah.
why? Okay. I hate taking away that.
I think to a lot of people, you'd be a fascinating person because you've been around the convention space for a few years now. With you know, as you said earlier, with the cosplay.
Yeah.
Anybody who's been at a gaming convention's probably seen you. Funny story I've actually got about you cosplaying gaming conventions.
Oh no.
I posted a photo on my Twitter of me, you, and Grim at PAX a couple of years ago. And it was when you guys were as the twins.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
That was
I
last
posted
year.
that online just
Yeah,
to
that
say,
was last year.
to catch up with Grim and Lucky. And I got back from Melbourne and my son had a friend over and they must be looking through my Twitter account for some reason. And he was just like, oh my God, your dad met. I saw them on at E3. How does your dad know them?
Oh shit. Yeah. Okay.
How does your dad know them? And I was just like, yeah, I'm the cool dad.
You're such a cool dad. I'm not like
But
a
I'm not the
regular
cool
dad.
dad.
I'm a cool dad, you know.
But
Oh
I'm
my
not the cool
gosh.
dad. But yeah, that was hilarious, that one. But
Oh
yeah, so
God.
around the convention scenes and
Yeah.
cosplay, and now
Yeah.
you're on the Twitch, and so I think let's start off. Like you've already said how you got into the cosplay. Tell us that journey of how you went from like cosplay and then what you've then got into doing some media stuff. How did that work out?
So, okay. So here is like it's not tea, but it is tea. It's the honest truth in that I just got kind of like in the end after like, you know, 8+ years of cosplaying, I just kind of got over it. Like there is so okay. Cosplay is wonderful. And the reason why I started cosplaying in the first place was because I was like a little bit of a misfit in school. I watched anime and stuff like that. And, you know, all my friends watched anime. And so I went to my first anime convention when I think I was about 15 years old. And it was just a bunch of really like minded people hanging out, having fun, being horrible. Like glomping was still a thing, and like people like always eating Pocky and shit. I don't know, man. Weebs. I love them, but honestly, it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. And so the when I started cosplaying, it was really exciting and it was really fun, and it just made me feel like I belonged somewhere, which a sense of belonging at a time when I was going through high school, and high school was horrible. I hated high school.
Yeah, I can relate.
Yeah, but having like a space where you genuinely felt accepted in was really cool. And the fact that it was also something that I could do in a creative space as well. Like I was always into like painting and art and things like that. And so I think cosplaying just kind of felt really normal and natural to me. But over the years, cosplaying became more and more dramatic. It became problematic. It became you know, it became a status thing when people started making their Facebook pages, and it was kind of like it almost felt like because we were all falling in love with the same characters and cosplaying similar characters, we were all vying for a spot at the table kind of thing, like to be noticed and to be the best at something. And like that's all well and good because for a lot of people you can use that as motivation to make your work better. But when you start doing it because you want to be a better version of something than someone else, it kind of like sucks the fun out of it. Like everybody should be allowed to pick a character and make that character if they want to be like, but you would get to a con and you'd be like, oh, this person's dressed as someone, and you're like, oh, well, that person's a bitch because I'm dressed as that person. It's like,
could you imagine if Deadpool character fans were hating on other people?
They did, yeah. For like early.
You remember that? I think that was Oz Comic Con, just the one after the Deadpool came out.
Oh yeah, no, there was that one Oz Comic Con that it was either Deadpool or Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I was there for it. You know, who gives a shit?
A cosplayer. I just thought it was dope. There was all these because I mean, most of the people that do Deadpool, they remix the shit out of it, right?
Oh yeah.
That's what I like about the Deadpool cosplay.
Me too. And I think that some people saw that as tarnishing, the good cosplay like image, where it was like people made their own versions of characters and people like, well, that's not canon. And it's like, yeah, but it's what I wanted to wear. And some people were like, well, that's not cosplay. That's just like your like interpretation of it. And it's like, that's still cosplay. So it was just like a too long didn't read version. Cosplay just became messy. And so I stepped away from the scene for a little bit. And then eventually like I got older and I met Grim and we started doing cosplay together. And I realized that it was fun again because I was doing it for the right reasons. And so I just cosplayed as I wanted to, when I wanted to, in the capacity that I wanted to. And
going into your cosplays with Grim, is it unusual to have like you guys were almost like a tag team in the cosplay scene? Is that an unusual thing to have there? Because I don't really notice like you see people that are groups of friends that will hang out and play together, but you two collabed and did genuine sort of tag team. And I just not something that I've seen a lot of.
I think the
reason I may be naive to this.
No. I do agree in a sense. Like it's not uncommon for people to kind of like pair up and do like pair cosplays or group cosplays and things like that. But I think with Grim and I, we were just two best friends like looking for an excuse to hang out and just like make stuff together. And so we would always just pick things that really bounced well off each other. So like
one X-Men one, I love the X-Men.
Yeah, we did Cable and Cyclops, and people just like they were really into it, and we were really into it. And at one point we did Domino and Deadpool, and then when we were picked to be the Calypso twins, I dead ass went home and cried because I was just like, well, I was just so stoked that we were asked to go to E3 to be part of like the Borderlands booth as the main villains with my best friend. It was like, hey, go to LA.
And you got to meet Jablinski.
It was a whole E3 was a blur.
I was a massive Tenacious D fan. Like I love those guys, right? And when you posted that photo of you guys together, I can't remember if it was you or Grim that posted it. I was just like, and look, you know what we do for a job. I don't normally get starstruck, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Time, but that was one moment where I was jealous as fuck of you guys.
It was pretty. Oh, it was up there, and honestly, it was a blur. And we met. I think we also bumped into Jason Mewes, and he had nothing but good things to say about us and our cosplays and stuff. But side note, it was stinking hot at E3, and we were in like body paint and
it was fucking terrible at the best of times.
It was gross.
My opinion, I think E3 had gotten worse once they started letting the public in anyway.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It was already a hot, stinking place, and once they started letting the public attend, which this would have been your first one, so you don't know E3 before the public were allowed.
I had nothing to compare it to. I think we went in 2000 and what is it? Did we go last year or the year before? Yeah, I can't remember very well.
It would have been 2018.
It would have been, what is it, 18? I think it was start of last year, wasn't it?
I found my lanyard the other day and I can't remember what it said on it. I think it said 2019. Shit, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so I don't know. Cosplay became fun again because I did it for the right reasons. And then from that, I actually got picked up by SBS to go and do a podcast for them. where they basically did like a weekly roundup of geeky things, and they were like, "We'd love you to be on it because you're like a cosplayer and kind of a weeb." And I'm like, "Yeah,
I remember
sure."
when you guys started doing that.
Yeah,
That's
it was
cool.
really it was really fun actually, and it was like my first step towards taking my cosplay to a different space within like the pop culture scene. And so it meant doing things like writing blogs and like going and interviewing people at conventions and stuff like that. And then from there, I was just like, well, I am comfortable speaking about things now. Maybe it's time to start Twitch streaming. And I made the decision to start doing Twitch after we came back from being guests at RTX last year or the year before last. And I started streaming last year. So yeah.
No, I'm going to rewind it a bit because you've glossed over one big part of your story here.
Okay.
Was after SBS, you and Grim go and start the Boneyard Arcade.
Yes. Yeah, we did our own thing.
You guys went and did your own thing, which I thought was amazing, especially once you started getting the YouTube element in there and that sort of thing. But
yeah,
you guys genuinely, like, as somebody that is friends with you guys and also a fan of Rooster Teeth.
Yeah.
Watching you guys work with Rooster Teeth was amazing. And I was genuinely waiting for the day that you guys announced, hey, we're officially part of Rooster Teeth. Of course, a lot of political things happened at Rooster Teeth in that sort of same period.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was that experience like? You know, working directly with Bernie and.
So before the big shift in Rooster Teeth happened, like early last year kind of thing.
So we're talking, this is the Warner takeover, right?
Yeah. So when they got acquired by Warner, and then they kind of stopped being in charge of a lot of things that they used to be in charge of, and a lot of people got moved around and let go and things like that. But before that, when Rooster Teeth was very much still what it was when it was, making things like Red versus Blue, and like all of that, we had the opportunity to go over and be guests at RTX. And for me, like, it was really cool, but at the same time, my boyfriend, partner of 6 years, Josh, has been watching Rooster Teeth since the very, 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 very beginning. Wow. He was like on the original forums. And so when he, was there with like Bernie and people were like just singing praises about the things that we were doing and, saying how impressed they were, blah, blah, blah. It was his reaction to it that really like boosted me up as well. Cause he was just like, I didn't think this would ever happen. And I'm just like, well, it's because, we worked really hard and, you've done a lot to contribute to that. And so you should give yourself that, So it was honestly like one of the best times of pretty much, I think, my life. Like going over to Texas for the first time was really, really exciting. And I think the opportunity that we had with Rooster Teeth was pretty unique from like the Australian point of things.
Definitely.
Because they'd worked with like Lannon before, but like as like a little mini group that almost like kind of like represented the Australian community. That was really exciting. Also really scary, scary.
And you guys got to host RTX Sydney one year, right?
We were the hosts, and we did the interstitials for the live stream, which was also scary. Like honestly, I'm a ball of anxiety. Like I'm the biggest introverted extrovert you'll ever meet. Like when people when you guys ask me, it's like, do you want to do a podcast? And I'm like, fuck, I mean, I'll do it. But also like, I don't know. It sends me a little bit into a spiral.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, hopefully it's easier once you're here. Hopefully it's all right
definitely.
now.
Definitely.
Well, I think you guys have had, and yourself as well, have had so far, like you're young as fuck and you've had an amazing career so far, right?
It's been really cool. I feel really fortunate. I get almost lucky, one would say.
Oh.
Stop that.
Stop.
Right, so
and
you've been through this awesome career, like in the public eye with everything else you've done. In the background, though, you've been doing your own little side hustle at the same time.
Yeah.
And this is something I really did want to have a chat to you about because it's something that has definitely exploded more so in 2020 than I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But I would say you're one of the OGs locally with the OnlyFans and Patreon scene.
Yeah. So, OnlyFans, in particular, is pretty hot topic. Some would consider it to be taboo as well. It is a platform that was built off the back of sex workers, and it recently kind of has just exploded as a means for people to generate an income as their own boss, basically. And so, what I've done for the last like 4 or so years, I started on Patreon, and I basically created digital photo sets with my partner. We basically took photos.
Look, just take a second to appreciate how talented Josh is as
Oh,
well. He's
absolutely
amazing.
incredible. And he's so supportive as well. It's just like it's never ever phased him. Or I'm like, can you see my butthole in this? And he's like, no, let's just pull it. Yeah, there you go. All right, that's much better. So he's on, Butthole Patrol.
What a bloke. What a bloke.
Yeah, I know. What a legend. And so we started doing like Patreon stuff a few years ago, and it was like nothing over the top, just kind of like, it's not I don't know, like sexy cosplay. It was just like, sure, cool. I like doing that. It makes me feel good, and I like the photos that we take. But then recently, I noticed that a lot of people, especially in the cosplay scene, a lot of girls were shifting to OnlyFans. And so I went and had a squiz at it I think I started in July of this year, because obviously the pandemic really turned a lot of sources of incomes on their heads for a lot of people. And so people were just looking for an option. So I went and looked at OnlyFans, and I'm like, right, what is the difference between this and Patreon? And I think the biggest difference is the stigma attached to OnlyFans, because it is a platform that's built off the backs of sex workers. But I decided that I was going to get involved, and I was going to pretty much create the same kind of content that I was doing over on Patreon. But I guess you could call it more amateur. So I gave Josh the opportunity to step back from like doing professional shoots and like editing and stuff like that. And I just started posting pretty much whatever made me feel, sexy and confident. And people have really responded to it. But I think that people also just like the opportunity to have a place where they can go and support a creator that they've followed for years and years. Like I have a few supporters who've been there since I started my Facebook page, like back way back when, like 10 years ago. And so I've never had any issue with it. I've always been very upfront about it. But I do feel like it does hinder me sometimes when it comes to the slightly more professional side of my life, which now is Twitch. Now that I've become partnered, people don't like choosing you for opportunities because you have that stigma kind of surrounding you. They're like, well, we don't want to give you this because it's not family friendly. That's one of my favorite things.
This is an awesome discussion to have, because this is something that both Jack and I have faced in our professional lives. When we've been working with clients, we've said, oh, we'd love to work with this person, this person, this person. And they'll be like, yes, that person's perfect. Yes, that one's perfect. Oh, it's a shame that one's on OnlyFans.
Yeah, and if it's the right person for the job, then they're the right person for the job. It's like,
but this is what I'd actually say is I think 2020 has actually been a good year for this sort of thing as well, because it's bringing, like 2020 in general, like apart from the shitty things that have happened, changing a lot of opinions on a lot of things, right? It's the same year that we've approached and attacked racism and worldwide. We're becoming a lot more open this year about sexual identity than ever before. And I think with OnlyFans and people working in sex work, it's forced a lot of companies to look at their attitudes towards it. So both Jack and I, like, this is something that I take a lot of pride in, is the fact that we have worked with people for years that have worked in the scene, as well as being professional content creators on Twitch or YouTube or the cosplay scene and stuff. And a lot of education that we've done with our clients and said, yes, they do this, but that's part of them. We shouldn't be shaming them or excluding them or anything like that.
For sure.
And I do
because at the same time, all the people I reckon that are saying don't work with them, you take them to a work trip to Vegas or some shit, and they're 100% going to the strippers.
100%.
100%. 100%.
It's It's so true though. Oh my
Yeah,
god, what's
Yeah.
the
I mean,
lie?
there are still companies out there that are very conservative, right? And it's not so much the local office that is like that. It's more the
Yeah.
higher ups, right? So
Yeah.
Definitely.
the higher ups in other countries, or in particular, some of the Asian-owned companies are very sensitive to that sort of thing.
Mm.
Although those countries also are the ones that you go to another country and they're straight away taking you to the strippers. But yeah, so I personally think we are seeing a very strong shift in that direction where it's becoming okay. Like a good example would be, Jack, you remember the time we suggested Hylia Fawkes for a to one
She's
of our
so lovely.
Yeah.
oh,
She is
she's amazing.
so
Yeah.
fucking lovely.
She's
So we
awesome.
suggested her to one of our clients, right? And we literally said, this is going to go one of either way. It's either going to be
Yeah.
a hell no or a hell yes, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we were
And
straight
we-
up as well. We're like, here's
Yeah.
her Twitch, here's her YouTube, here's her Instagram, here's
her
her
both
other
her
Instagram and her other stuff.
Mm.
Like, just
And-
here she
yeah.
is. Just
Yep.
everything. You know,
We
there's
were
no point
we
hiding it.
did take a bit of education to sort of say, yeah, this is both sides of her. And that client said, look, we understand she does that, but we also think she's perfect for this product that we're trying to promote. So, and we ended up sending it to her.
That's
And,
awesome.
So yeah, I think we are going to see we are seeing a change on that side of things.
I'd like to, I hope so, because I feel like at the end of the day, you know, sex work is one of the, oldest jobs in the book. It's been happening forever and it's going to continue to happen. And I think that when we start to take away that stigma and, stop creating villains out of sex workers, I think that people will realize that, a person is perfectly capable of receiving a pair of headphones, promoting it on Twitch, but then, later going and making a video for their OnlyFans. And you can, if you want to, keep those things completely separate. You are people are capable of doing that, because I do understand at the end of the day, companies, especially in the higher ups, they do have an image that they need to protect, and that they also they can't advertise to kids with certain influences and things like that. But I hope that there are more opportunities for sex workers out there, because a lot of sex workers are just people trying to make ends meet, and a lot of them are of color, and a lot of them are trans, and a lot of them just people in a situation where they are trying to get by, and they're honest people as well. So.
Look, I'll be honest. I have moments where I totally envy people who are in a position to be able to do that, and it's not just the financial side of it. Although that's totally appealing. I have seen some numbers, man. I've just been like, wow. But I mean, even just the freedom to be able to express yourself and not have repercussions on you professionally as well.
It's content creation at the end of the day.
I've spoken to people that are executives at companies, and they'd be like, I would love to do that. It would make me feel really good.
Yeah.
But I know I would lose my job if I got found out.
Which is upsetting. Like, why should they lose their job for doing that? Like
Totally.
if it's something that adults are doing consensually, in a safe environment, like, I don't know, man, it's their choice. It's like, I do get like there are two sides, but like also just like, man, just like, have fun, do you?
It's
like,
hard, isn't it? Because it's even
It
like
is.
I know it's not the similar case, but I guess like tattoos in a business sense and in a corporate world, it's like it's not illegal, like,
No.
it's just me being
As long
me
as
and
you-
expressing myself.
As
But
long
if
as
I
you
went
don't have any
into
potential,
a
right?
corporate business with my hand, then they'd be like, see you later.
Yeah.
Do they still do that to you guys? Because both of you obviously like have like visible tattoos, and Hutto, you've got like the stretches and stuff like that. Are you still, even, you guys are really fucking good at your jobs, obviously, and you work in an industry that is quite forward thinking and it's evolving constantly. But do you ever find that people kind of give you a look and they're like, well, are you sure that they're good at this, or can they do it, or should they do it? Should they be representing us?
Okay, so I would say,
I just don't care.
yeah.
I like that.
Well, no, well,
I just walk in and go, here, this is what we do. This is how we do it. Like, whatever.
any other industry, it might be completely different, right? So
Yeah.
5 years ago, before I'd moved over to Australia, I worked for a company that was a Christian-owned company, right?
Okay.
and they were a little bit funny about it, but they weren't completely against it.
Right. Okay.
So we were starting to sort of see more acceptance coming in then, and coming from
I got
very,
upside down crosses tatted on the back of my head. I'm not working there.
But in saying that, like, in saying that, we have seen in the company we work for, or the parent company to GoToGame, the attitudes in that company change over the last 5 years. Like,
Yeah.
just people who
Very
have
much.
previously been very anti-visible tattoos are now very accepting of tattoos, and even celebrating when we've got tattoos.
Yeah.
The fact that me and Jack have actually got tattoos for work.
Yeah.
Right? And people have gone, oh, this is really awesome. Look how dedicated our staff are to our clients. Meanwhile, it's just me and Jack going,
That was like when I
free
got my head
tattoos, bro.
done.
Free tattoos, bro.
For some reason, like, it didn't even cross my mind. I think that's because of how well our work is with dealing with this sort of stuff. They're like, whatever. You do what you do on the weekends, and if you come in on the weekend and you look different, who gives a shit? As long as you're getting your work done and you're being respectable, you're not being an asshole.
Gotten, Jack. That'd be the only tattoo you've gotten that you posted it on social media, and half an hour later, I got a DM from our higher
CEO.
What has Jack done?
Because it just was never in my mind of maybe I should check with work first. I just completely forgot. I got my neck and the whole fucking my head done almost.
And saying that with zero repercussions, right? So there was no repercussions about it, but there was. What has he done?
Yeah, it's like, what have you done?
Them personally, if it was like one of their own kids or something, very different story. But obviously, you know, at work it's completely different. But so it was really weird to see the switch in their mind of what have you done? Like, think about your life choices too. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, in the same like conversation.
Yeah. Isn't it funny though, when people realize that another person's actions, when it doesn't necessarily impact them, they don't need to worry about it. It's just like, hey, isn't celebration way better than fucking discrimination? Like, come on now.
100%.
Come on now.
Well, while we're talking about people at work and stuff and all this, I tweeted about this. I'd love to have this conversation with you in person, about the colleague of ours, an older colleague. He's been working in the PR industry for 30 plus years, right?
Worried.
And he is a person who has absolutely loved your work that you've done with us.
Oh yeah, okay.
He always talks about you. Every client come on up, I'm like, oh, you're doing something lucky this time and shit. We're like, oh, you know, we'll see, whatever. He always brings you up.
Yeah, he's loved your work in the past. Now, we had a phone
call. He hates you.
We had a phone call about something completely different. It was about a client. And then he goes, oh, before you go, Fit, I just wanted to have a chat to you. I've been having a look on social, and you know how I love the guys that
you know where this is going.
Oh, absolutely.
I love the guys that you guys work with, but Lucky and Ray J, what are they up to? As soon as those two names came up, I was just like, this is going to be a hilarious conversation.
It's a good one.
But in saying that, it was actually a genuinely good conversation. I remember when I tweeted, but I remember when I first tweeted it, you said, I don't give a fuck what people think, right?
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
And that's awesome that that's what you think. But I was stoked to be able to have that conversation with him, because it was an opportunity to actually educate him about OnlyFans and that, you know, the whole separate identity thing, and you know, the fact that professionally you do this, professionally you do that. They don't always cross.
Yeah.
Two different things.
Except when you post on the wrong account.
Yeah, look, that's happened a couple of times, and I'm like, oh boy.
Or when our mate Panda the other day, his tweet of
Panda's like my dad, and he was like, hey guys, I have to just like, it's not no shade, but I have to unfollow some of you just because occasionally there are some naughty bits on my timeline. I can't have that. And I've actually there were people, okay, so I have two accounts. I have my Lucky Bones account, and then I have my other account.
You can promote your other account. We can.
No, it's okay. I don't need to.
Let me just
open
it up.
I get thirsty on monsters.
I'm allowed to open this on. I'm allowed to open this on YouTube, Anna. Hang on, let me have a look here.
What?
Your other account.
Bring it up. On
you won't find it on YouTube. It's a different kind of tube. But yeah. So what was I saying? You guys, shut the fuck up. Hang on. Panda. Yeah. So I basically went to my alt account, and I noticed a lot of Hado, I think you're still in there because I love you. Fit, I don't know if you follow me there, but a lot of like my normie friends followed my alt account, and I was just like, okay, so this alt account is like pretty much just me advertising OnlyFans and like sharing other OnlyFans creators. So I had to go through and do you guys know what a soft block is on Twitter? Yeah, when you unfollow, you block somebody and then you unblock them. Yeah, well, it unfollows both of you from each other. So I just did that to all my normie friends. I'm like, sorry. Thank you.
Block me.
You won't be blocked. You'll just not be following me. But I did it because out of consideration to my friends who work in industries where it may be questionable to have that on your timeline popping up. I just did it out of courtesy at the end of the day because I understand there's the difference, and we're allowed to have those things separate. That's fine.
Totally. I can't remember if it was you or Ray J who actually mentioned it. Was, you know, if you don't want to see that stuff when it gets retweeted, you can just block that account.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. Yeah, it's like I think we're all much more in charge of our own like social media than we seem to think we are. It's like, well, I don't want to see that. It's like you can mute words, you can block accounts, you can mute accounts, things like that. So if you don't want the crossover, there is that option. But also I think that we need to start working at dismantling the stigma attached to sex work and the fact that there are people in positions of professions like Twitch and being a Twitch partner where they can do both. They don't necessarily need to
be honest, there are also people that are fully corporate people that are also doing it, and they're just obscuring their face or tattoos or identifiable, and they're still doing it. So
I think the thing in Panda's situation was that he like opens Twitter on his stream and like reads stuff and looks around. I think that would So I watched it and I knew he was just doing it just for a laugh. Like I know he was actually being legit in what he was saying, but the way he went about it, he was like, you know, taking the piss as well. But in that circumstance, I'm like, you know what? Fair enough. Like if you're scrolling Twitter and then, you know, someone's situation pops up and then you get banned, like, you know, it's his full-time job. Like I get it.
Exactly.
But for me, like at work or at home, I'm scrolling. Lisa's like, oh, who's that? And I'm like, here, look at this, you know. Do you want to, whose OnlyFans do you want to sub to or whatever? And she's like, yeah, this one, that one. So yeah, we don't care. Yeah, we're all about it. I'm probably not going to retweet it, but you know,
I'll have to.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I feel like me just following and supporting and chucking a like here and there where I can, and all that sort of stuff is fine. And even at work, like I don't know, the way we sit at work, like I'm sitting here and everyone else is behind me. So it's like even sometimes like questionable stuff pops up. People are like, "What was that?" I'm like,
the funny thing is I haven't blocked content creators like yourself from my account or from corporate accounts, but I have had to block male Twitch streamers because some of the stuff that they have tweeted. No, it's like
just saying dumb shit.
No, either saying dumb shit or they have just posted like a screenshot of a nude photo or whatever.
Right. Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Right.
Interesting.
So that's what I find interesting is I haven't had to, because I mean, let's be honest, the stuff that most of the OnlyFans creators post on their Twitter, most of it isn't.
No. You want to see the good shit?
No.
You pay for it.
You pay for it. You put it behind a fucking paywall. That's how it works. It's like, ooh,
here's a little watermark of the watermark. You know.
Yep,
here's a strategically placed emoji.
Yep, that's it. Here's the eggplant emoji. Lamau, go pay the money, see the stuff. Here's the one thing that I would like people to know, because I have the opportunity to talk to you guys. It's a safe environment. And you're in the industry, like the games industry. I am exceptionally tired of people coming up to me and asking me about my OnlyFans horror stories. When people come up to me at events that I'm there for in a capacity where, you know, I'm a gamer, I'm a content creator, I have people come up and ask me about my OnlyFans. And I am exceptionally frustrated by it because they ask me things like, you know, how many dick pics do you get a day? And, you know, like how many dudes come on there asking for like, you know, fetish porn and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. So you work in games and you're, you know, you work a desk job. Like, do you get dick pics? And they're like, oh no, it's not the same thing. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm not asking you about it either. So you don't have to invade my privacy and ask me these things. It's like, I don't know if it's it's the same sentiment for other people on the platform, but it gets really boring really quickly.
Yeah.
So,
but in saying that, go and ask any female you know. It doesn't have to be an OnlyFans fucking creator,
yeah.
right? Almost every female you know gets dick pics at some stage.
Yeah, but it's also really boring to talk about now. Like, and people love to open with that. They're like, "So you're a girl on the internet?" And I'm like, "Oh boy, here we go." And I'm like, "I am a female presenting person on the internet, yes." And they're just like, "Well, how many dick pics do you get?" Such a boring fucking question. Ask something new. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I've got one last question about OnlyFans.
Totally.
How many dick? No.
Yeah. I'm leaving. I'm kidding.
No.
It's fine.
Coming from the cosplay scene, and you know, you've already talked about how toxic and stuff that has gotten. And look, and to be honest, we see a lot of it on the Twitch side of things as well, where people can be a bit toxic or you know, not supporting each other and things like that. Is it just my outsider's opinion here, but it seems like the OnlyFans community of creators seems super supportive of each other?
They can be, yeah. I think a lot of the time, so places like the cosplay scene and the Twitch scene, I think they're the same as most communities in that you're gonna have, you know, a few bad eggs among the bunch, and they'll a lot of the time they're, you know, stinkier and louder. So you pay more attention to them. It's easier to forget that there are good people within the community. So as far as toxicity goes, like, yeah, everybody's got their toxic people in the community. But the OnlyFans creators, from what I've seen personally in my experience, have all been incredibly supportive. Like I saw a tweet from my friend the other day, and you know, she said the serotonin I get from seeing women having positive relationships with one another far outweighs all of the snags on the barbs. You know what I mean? So like you go through these shitty situations, but like seeing these amazing people uplifting one another, it's something that you see quite a lot in the OnlyFans community, especially like within my friend circle. I've been really fortunate to have so many people who have been like, yeah, I'm happy to help you. I'm happy to show you how to do things. And it's been like, you know, all across the gender spectrum. Like, it's not just been women, it's just been all of these people coming together and being like, hell yeah, if we all just like make this a positive experience, then it won't suck for anybody. And that's really, really good. Like, why should anybody
have to suffer? Do that in life?
Right. Honestly. Shit.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I think that it is what you make it. And so I think that a lot of people see it as an opportunity to make it something positive. And so they are working hard to do that. But I think that we should just do that all the time with 100%. Everything as best we can. Because
Right. Well, look, that was actually really fascinating to talk to, and
I'm so glad I got to talk about it though, because let's face it, as beyond the dick pic questions, some people do have very legitimate questions about that type of work, and you know, I'm happy to answer it in a capacity that is educational and, you know, something that people can learn from. So I appreciate you guys asking me about it and not being weird. Well, not too weird, at least.
Not too weird.
No. Yeah, not weird in a weird way.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are like my dad. So like, actually, is your dad asking about your sex work weird?
I don't know.
Maybe okay. My mom's okay with it. So
but not your daddy.
I saw somebody the other day where they tweeted. Somebody actually tweeted the other day about like, is it weird that my dad wants to know if he should sub to my OnlyFans to support me? That's probably a line that's a bit weird, but
that's a wild question, isn't it?
My mom showed me how to tax my lingerie and things like that. So
oh my god, what a champion!
She's top bloke. She's like, look, you need to tax all of your shit, otherwise you're gonna pay. I paid so much in taxes. Which is another myth. Oh, yeah. You pay so much more in tax. I promise you. It's a real job. You pay taxes.
But it's not a real job.
It's not a real job. It's like, okay, I'll keep my not real job then, because it's fun and I am making money from it and I'm paying my bills and I'm supportive and I'm supporting people around me. So I'll keep doing my not real job and paying my not real taxes. Yeah.
And your taxes.
Taxes. The finger thing means the taxes.
Yeah. All right, Jack, let's have a talk about some news.
Yes.
News? Oh, news. Shit.
Real quick shit though. This one is going to go on a while. We haven't spoke about the King Ice, and I know you're all about it.
Oh, King Ice. So this is my techie sort of hangover from being a hip hop kid. Is
Yeah.
I absolutely love bling pendants and stuff like that. I don't like the over the top massive ones, but like everybody's seen like I wear my PlayStation pendant every now and then to a
Oh,
game.
yeah. Okay.
So the company that actually made the PlayStation stuff that I wear has actually collabed with Xbox.
Oh, okay.
And they're releasing a full range, or they've released a full range of official Xbox merchandise. Some of it, I would say, is a bit over the top. Like I personally think the Xbox logo and the Xbox word one, wouldn't buy that one myself. I don't want a big Xbox on me, but
Yeah.
I think the controller looks beautiful. That's a nice sort of subtle size and design, and their stuff is fabulous. It's available now. Kingice.com.
One of them is 10 grand. What the fuck?
Get it.
That's
Get
what I'm
it.
about to get to. Is they have released one that is $10,000.
What
and
the
they're actually,
fuck?
Buy it. Who cares? I'm
they're actually
kidding.
going to be giving that
I
one
don't have
away.
10 grand.
Oh,
I don't know
they're
about
giving
you,
it
but-
away?
If you go to their Instagram at the moment, you can enter a competition to win a genuine $10,000 Xbox pendant.
But why?
Because
14 karat gold,
Why?
3D sphere pending, with genuine diamonds and emeralds in an iconic chasm shape. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Like
but okay.
it is pretty cool, but
like I said,
fucking hell.
that's over the top. That
Is
one.
it is it
Jesus.
that cool? I want to know now. I can't
Yeah,
spell.
just go
You know
to
what?
go
I
to
quit.
kingice.com and then
Yeah.
it's the Xbox
Yeah.
collection. But they've got
My
so
fingernails
much. They've got
are too
like
long.
God of War, they've got fucking Powerpuff Girls, Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, Ren and
Oh my
Stimpy?
God.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. They've got
What the
some
hell?
amazing
You can get Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup as like a necklace, but like diamond out.
Yeah,
What do you say?
they also
Iced out? Is that what you say?
I want the purple drank
that what the
one.
cool
That's
kids say?
cool.
Yeah, so I was just about to say that they do
Oh.
Snoop Dogg's official stuff, and the purple drank one is actually Snoop's.
It's so lit. It's really
Oh,
cool. I'm kind of into
That's
it.
what the kids say. The kids say, yeah, you can get an auto necklace from fucking Rocket Power. What the hell?
What? Rocket power? Oh,
Their
I didn't know.
collaborations they've got are amazing. They've got Rick and Morty stuff as well.
Yeah, I just
what?
saw that. SpongeBob.
Nickelodeon, Ninja Turtles.
Oh shit.
This
Okay,
is
that's
pretty
kinda
crazy.
cool.
I didn't realize they had so much stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So if
shredder
you- if
necklace
you
is pretty
yeah,
sick.
I
though.
actually really want the Xbox controller one. So
You should
Right.
get it.
oh,
You
I
deserve nice
will,
things.
I will be getting that.
Good. I'm glad.
Buy it right now. Buy it on the show.
Do it. Yeah.
But right now, I'm this close to Christmas, mate. My money is being
160
invested
bucks.
next month.
Yeah, true. 120 bucks.
We just
They're actually not that expensive, really. Eh? I didn't thought they would be more than that, to be honest.
Oh, totally.
That's cool though.
$10,000 though. Wow.
Anyway, yeah, I just thought that was cool, and I thought you might want to talk about it because we haven't spoke about it yet. So
Yeah,
Well,
but
we'll
you
see.
can, if you want to find out more about that, there's an article on our website as well, gotogame.com.
Oh yeah.
Look at
The
Yeah.
next thing I thought was cool. I don't know if you still play, Gabby, but Magic the Gathering. I don't know.
I've
did you-
never
have you
played
ever
Magic the Gathering. No.
Yeah, right. I swear,
Oh,
I know you collected dice, so I assumed you played a little bit, or at least.
I'm
knew
a
about it.
Dungeons and Dragons nerd.
Oh, true. I forget there's dice for other
Yeah.
games. I forgot.
Yeah.
I'm only
Yeah,
in the Magic
exactly.
Gathering life. D20 Magic the Gathering only. Never use it for anything else.
Jesus.
But something really cool that I saw today. This came out yesterday. Magic the Gathering is doing a like kind of collaboration with Bob Ross artwork.
What?
So they're using Bob Ross's artwork on some of the land cards,
Oh, that's so cool.
which is
That's
actually
amazing.
really fucking awesome.
Do you
So
know
I'm
are
not-
these old Bob Ross paintings like that he's done in the past that they're going to be using? So
yeah.
it's-
That's
That's
so
amazing.
cool.
So
Dude.
yeah, they've the set will feature 2 Bob Ross landscapes representing each of the 5 Magic
Look at that. They're beautiful.
different land types. So plains, swamp, forest, islands, and mountains.
So cool.
So yeah, they're using I guess some of his iconic work in a few of them. So yeah, but they've done like a set of it, and it's actually looks really 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 cool. It looks really amazing.
They had literally millions of paintings to choose from. I watched a documentary on him during COVID, actually.
Hmm.
And because during COVID, I think we've all been down those weird rabbit holes of things that we've become obsessed with for a while.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Bob Ross was one of those ones for me a few months ago, and
The set is
painting.
called Happy Little Gathering.
That's awesome.
How cute!
Beautiful.
I know,
love it.
it's the best. I
That's
just saw
adorable.
that and I was like, you know what? That is cool. That is very cool, and they look awesome too. There's like
But yeah, like I was saying,
he's
he's done literally millions of paintings in his life.
Mm.
So
That's
like
wild.
to the point that they're trying to catalog them, and they just don't know how many paintings there are out there in the world.
Yeah, right. That's wild.
That's wild.
Well, also, I highly recommend watching that because it goes on about how how Bob Ross has had this renaissance in the last couple of years. It's actually all down to Twitch.
Yeah, because there's a channel that just streams Bob Ross episodes.
It's his family.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's
Holy
his family that started the
shit.
channel.
But people do like paint alongs with him, so a lot of people will get out, like they'll go and buy the paints and like an easel and shit, and they will paint along with Bob Ross, which is something that I used to watch when I came home from primary school and I was itty bitty. I would always watch Bob Ross, always. I think there's this massive crossover with like this generation and Bob Ross. I don't know, like people just want happiness in their lives right now, and it's like, where do I get that? And it's like Bob fucking Ross. That's where.
Dude, and just sitting there watching him and listening to that man talk.
Like OG ASMR. That's basically what Bob Ross was.
Totally.
Yeah. That's sick. Now Magic the Gathering and Bob Ross, fuck, nerds are just going to cream themselves.
I know, isn't it the best?
That's sick.
Get my easel out and I'll paint some Bob Ross Magic the Gathering cards on my thing.
That's
Take it to a
That'd
whole
be
new
so
level.
Cool. That'd be cool.
The last one that I thought, I had a few more, but it was about Fortnite and shit and whatever. The last one I think was cool is I saw the other day Cyberpunk 2077 tweeted and said that they have a toggle in the game for copyright and non-copyright music. So you can turn it on if you want to have copyright music, if you're just playing at home by yourself. But for streamers and content creators and whatever, you just go in and just say, no, thank you, I don't want copyright music. And then it's all DMCA free. Or like the music in the game switches.
Well, I think this is I think this is awesome that they've added this in. It means that their game is not going to be limited by Twitch.
Yep.
But I think it absolutely fucking sucks that they're in a position that they have to do this because I've tweeted about this. Twitch needs to get their shit together and just pay for some licensing.
Yeah. I'd imagine it'd be a lot harder than
Did you
of us know, but
did you see what Dr. Disrespect tweeted the other day about it?
No.
So he was when he was promoting his Cyberpunk stream that I don't know if he's done it already or if it was just an upcoming one, but it was come watch me stream Cyberpunk 2077 DMCA free because it's I'm going to be streaming exclusively on YouTube because you can play licensed music on YouTube.
Can you?
Oh, there we go. Join me on December 10th for a DMCA strike-free full audio experience.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, because YouTube pay for audio licenses.
Yeah.
That makes sense. How come, wait, so do we, this might be a bit much of a question, but do we know why Twitch just like kind of doesn't or hasn't, and why it's built an entire genre on their webpage that's dedicated to music, but now they're just like, hey, if you make music, get the fuck out. no for you.
Basically, the long and short version of it is they haven't paid and they're not paying for music licenses as a broad spectrum across their platform. Like a good example here is TikTok, right? TikTok has basically their entire platform is built on the back of licensed music.
Yeah.
The longest time when they were Musically and last year when they were blowing up as TikTok, they didn't have licensing agreements. But at the start of this year, they paid licensing agreements. So users on their platform, I don't know if you use TikTok much, but
I'm too old.
Well, I love TikTok. But there's sometimes you'll go to use music and it'll say, oh, you can't use this, there's no license.
Right, yeah, okay.
But other ones will be like, yep, free use, go for it.
Right.
And it's because they paid and came to arrangements with music publishers to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Haven't done that.
Okay. Seems
Which is strange
weird.
considering they're owned by the one of the richest men in the world, and Amazon, one of the most profitable companies in the world. So it is a strange situation.
Yeah.
Not throwing shade at Twitch as a platform. We love our friends at Twitch, and we love Twitch, but
it's just confusing. Like like it's never any shade. It's like, but sometimes people just have questions, and it's like they sound shady because it's like, why don't you just do this? But it's like it's coming from a place of naivety and non-education on
and look, and Twitch, I
matter.
don't think have done a great job of putting that education out there, or even
the communication was a little bit shaky.
And it still is a bit like
but
when they did their announcement recently about Monster Cat and stuff like that, they didn't really say a hell of a lot.
Yeah, I guess it's tricky, but I think that it is a big issue that a lot of people are kind of like upset about, and I think it needs to be addressed, and I don't think it really is. But again, it's like it's a multifaceted.
I do know the record companies are in discussions with Twitch. One of our clients is Warner Music, and had, when this first started, we had multiple conversations with them, and basically at a global level, conversations are being had. So
yeah, that's good.
Progress will be made.
Mad.
That's progress. That'd be lit.
That'd be real cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, imagine being able to just play whatever you want without getting in trouble. That'd be sick.
That'd be really just so wow, a utopia. I can't picture it. Amazing.
Right. Well, that's the news for this week.
Yep.
Coming up in the next week, what are you all looking forward to? What do you got this week?
I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons on the weekend, and I don't know if how many of you guys are Dungeons and Dragons fans, but they released a new book called Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. And yeah, so that's really exciting.
I've never played D&D, and I want to try it one day.
So I am actually really tempted to run a one-shot for some of my friends who have been like, I've never played, but I really want to play it. Because I've never DM'd, but like I would love to run it for my friends just because I feel like it would be easier.
Let us know. That could be something cool to stream. Like,
it'd be really cool. Do you guys want to play Dungeons and Dragons?
Let's do it.
I'm down. I'm hell down.
Let's do it.
Sick. Oh shit. Okay, maybe I should do it. Fuck. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Throw yourself in the deep end, mate.
Lucky DMs with noobs.
Just chaos. It's just like, oh no.
Hell yeah.
That'd be lit.
I'm down.
What about you, Jack? What do you got coming out this week?
Who knows?
Nice.
Trying to not be hot. That's about it, really. But yeah, GDO roleplay probably, because I'm still fucking just stuck into it. That's life. And that's about it.
Gaming wise, I am hopefully seriously considering changing internet providers so I can get my hands on an Xbox Series X.
Ooh, oh yeah, I forgot about. I don't play consoles. I'm a fake gamer girl. I built a PC at the beginning of the year for the first time in my tender little 28 years of life. And it does everything so well. And I just kind of like look at consoles now.
That's a real gamer moment right there.
It was like I felt so big brain afterwards. I'm like, wow, I can just play so many things on this thing, and it just does it.
I love PC gaming, being able to sit there and at my computer and play on my own and stuff. But I also what I love about console gaming is casual gaming on the couch with my wife.
Yeah. I miss that. I miss that a lot. I miss just sitting on the couch for hours. And like, I think the last game that I played on console was, I think it was Sunset Overdrive.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that was like one of the last
launch games for the Xbox One.
Yeah, I think that was like the last thing I played on a console. And then everything else just like, it was just like replays.
Some of my coolest memories as an adult, moments as an adult, has been where it's been me and my kids handing the controller to each other playing a game. Like,
I think that's a big thing.
We did that not long before my son moved to New Zealand. My wife was away for work, and we played a game which isn't even a popular game. It was Marvel versus X-Men. Marvel versus Capcom, the new version of it. And we spent like 3 hours handing the controller back and forth trying to clock the game. And we clocked it, but it was awesome.
It's cute. I love that.
I just don't think it's something you can do sitting at a PC, is having those sort of family moments and stuff.
Yeah, I think a PC is very much a personal experience, whereas I think console gaming gives you the opportunity to just sit in a room with people and like anybody can take a turn.
And
I think it's like,
my wife and I, we play Resident Evil and things like that.
oh, sick. Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, so
Nice.
that's what I'm going to.
I love that for you.
Tossing it up at the moment whether I'm going to do it, because the only way to get Xbox Series X at the moment is by signing up to Telstra.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's weird.
I don't know about
That's
that.
what I mean. So the moment is there. I'm really super happy with Aussie broadband at the moment, but the temptation is there to get an Xbox.
Oof. Somebody's going to have to make a counter offer.
Anyway, that's us for this week. Thank you so much, Gabby. It's been awesome catching up with you. Like I said, we've been working with you for such a long time. Consider you a friend, not just somebody we work with. Where can people find you online?
If you want to watch me stream, you can find me at Lucky Bones with a Z on the Twitch and pretty much everywhere that's social media. If you want to find me on other places, you can, I don't know, you'll know where to look. But mostly Twitch. Yeah. I love having the opportunity to come and like talk to people in the community, and I think that's the best way to do it. So if you're
how often do you stream?
3 times a week at the moment. So I stream Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays during the evening time for Australians, which is like 3 a.m. for Americans, but like, you know, like just wake up. I'm worth it. I promise. Yeah.
Awesome. And while you're on the socials, you can follow us as well. Myself, Fid McAwesome, on Twitter, Instagram, everything. You can also follow Jack at Jack Hutto on everything as well. And while you're there, we'd appreciate if you check us out, Go2Game. You can follow us at gotogame on Twitter, at goto.game on Instagram. We're also on Facebook. If you just look up goto.game on there, you'll find us. And of course, on our website, www.goto.game. That's us for this week. Once again, thank you, Gabby. We love you.
Thanks, guys.
And
you're a
we
legend.
will be back next week with another awesome guest / friend to meet up with.
Yep.
Take it easy, guys. Thank you.